Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep with your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. Spencer Israel, joined by Joel Elconin. Dennis Dick is feeling very under the weather today, so he's taking the morning off. Joel and I are in the driver's seat. We're going to be joined a little bit later on by Jerremy Newsome. He will sort of round out the show with us for the back third or so of our show. But in the meantime, we have a lot of stuff to get to. We'll talk about the continued move from growth into value. GE has some news. We'll talk about the reaction from the Apple event, specifically with regards to Netflix and Roku. McDonald's had a big move yesterday. We had some earnings. We have some ratings, and we anticipate having some time today to take questions from our chat. So drop those tickers in on premarket.benzinga.com and youtube.com/BenzingaTV. We will take your tickers throughout the show today. Joel, what's the word here overnight?
All right, let's take a look at the S&P 500 index futures. Big all range overnight. Not too bad. 15-point range. Your pre-market high comes in at 29.87. Not a real relevant number to me. To me, the high of the move at 91.50 is going to be the big target. That was the high on Monday. Pre-market low, 72 even. Not too much down there, but we'll keep an eye on that. Above that, Tuesday's low at 57.25. Crude up 44, big decline yesterday on the resignation of John Bolton, but came back trying to close over $58. Gold in the green by just 50 cents here, trying to get back over 1,500. Silver up almost a penny at 19 and a half, and Bitcoin just can't get away from 10,000. Bitcoin futures up $35 at 10,095.
It is funny how those moves in crude are so short-lived, right? I mean, that Bolton news hit the wires, and crude dropped like a rock.
Yeah,
and then doesn't matter now.
I've been watching the chart on it, and it's just so, the daily here is just so unsmooth, no definable trend here. It looks great at the top, and then it pulls back, and then looks horrible at the bottom, and then it rallies. We will keep an eye on yesterday's high. That's way up in the 58 handle at 58.76. The close, we're trading in the green here. It looks like you're finding good support. Yesterday's low, 57.27. Big draw also on crude after the close. So those crude statistics, if you know how to follow them and trade them, hats off to you, because it just seems like it's opposite with those. But let's get in a lot of news today. You want to cover a little bit of stuff from yesterday?
Yeah, well, let's just start with yesterday was more of the same, right? We saw the materials were hot, financials were hot, healthcare, industrials, tech, not so much. And it's been a strange couple of days. Check out the stat from Dow Jones market data. So yesterday was the second day in a row that the Russell 2000 closed up 1% while the NASDAQ 100 fell. That's the first time since the inception of the Russell 2000 that has happened. That for 2 days in a row, the Russell has gone up 1% while the NASDAQ has fallen. It's been I feel like it's been a weird couple of days.
It's just rotation with a capital R on it. And I think the biggest surprise to me has been the banks. The bonds have been down. The TLT's been down 3 out of the last 4 sessions. That's gave a boost to banks. It's interesting with the Fed decision, supposedly lower rates come here, but it's just part of the value trade. Bank America traded in the red here this morning, but really good days for financials. And all you needed was, just no tweets or, nothing. Nothing major. So
no developments on the trade war front, that's for sure.
It's all quiet on the trade war front. But
so is this what happens when there's no crazy trade war, inverted yield curves headlines?
Yep. That's exactly what happens. The path of least resistance has been higher in the market. We're keeping an eye on 91.50. That's been the recent high of the move. I also want to mention that today is rollover in the S&P 500 futures. Second Wednesday of the month is your last day where the September would be the front month. And what that just means is that that's where the majority of the volume is. But eventually all the open interest from the September has to move over to the December by next Friday. Next Friday is the triple quad witch, whatever you want to call it. So you see some air pockets as players have to replicate their position, or if they want to exit the position. Trading the spread is a big deal, but that's if you think there's a little bit more choppy action than usual. I will use the December contract through Friday because there's still pretty good volume, but on Monday I will convert it to the December numbers. That's ESU for the September and ESZ as in zebra for the December. So just wanted to alert you guys about the rollover.
All right, let's start with this GE news. That I got here that GE is giving up its majority control in Baker Hughes. They're raising about $3 billion in cash by selling to Baker Hughes, but that transaction will trigger a $7 billion accounting charge. I saw a comment from John Inch, who is one of our favorite analysts on GE, from a few days ago. He said he still expects a equity capital raise in the next 1 to 2 years, but let's look at GE here as they continue to try and raise money.
Okay. All right. Well, let's look at this from a couple different perspectives. First, I did get some recent comments from John Inch this morning. And
more recent than those comments.
Yes,
okay.
16 minutes ago. That's
okay.
It's hot off the press. And to quote him, Baker is getting LNG business and the stock is depressed. So why are they doing this now? It almost triggers a sizable goodwill write down. I saw 7 billion. He's saying it's more than 8 billion. Suggests they do indeed need the money, while the cash flow outlook may not be as upbeat as hoped for. So, I mean, they bought that Baker Hughes bad, and that's just I don't know. I haven't been able to go and do all the accounting, but I remember when they did that. Schlumberger was thinking of doing something with them, and it was just horrible timing, horrible investment. They're going to take a huge write down for it. They're bringing some cash in. They're getting it off the books. That's a good thing. GE has been part of the value trade as of late, even though I don't know how much value there is in it. And I'll be keeping an eye on the parameters from the last yesterday's high, 927, and you also had a sneaky high at 923. So let's call that a potential double top. If the bulls want to construe this as good news, boom, they'll take it through that, go 930 bid. I don't know. I just think this is just going to grind and maybe in the lower 9 handle. Yesterday's low, 890. So far, 39,000 shares have traded. Not much reaction, up a penny, GE.
All right, let's talk about this Apple event from yesterday. It was pretty much what we expected. They announced several new iPhone models, and as I thought, the headline grabber was Apple TV Plus, and they are undercutting Disney. They're undercutting everyone. $4.99 a month is the price for Apple TV Plus, undercutting Disney, undercutting Netflix, undercutting Hulu. And the stocks reacted as you'd think they would.
So do we know what's going to be on there? Apple TV?
That's a good question. They have some original programming in place, but beyond that, I'm not really sure.
All right. Well, it took them a while to decide, and then just late in the day, or was this after hours? Nope. That last bracket there, they decided it was super good news. Actually, the last half hour, you went from 214.58 to 216.77. Filed through this morning, trading up 70 cents. Let's just keep it. I mean, the only number, one number only here. That would be your all-time. Wow, you got a sneaky number, 218.03. That's the second high it's ever made. That was on August 1st. It's your monthly high too. All-time high, 221.37. That was made on July 31st, and I'm just looking for the all-time closing high. And I think the all-time closing high, which is a big number, that was made yesterday. That all-time closing high, 214.17. from yesterday, or no, I'm sorry, 216.70. That's your all-time closing high. Apple within $5 of an all-time high.
And then Netflix and Roku. And sure, part of this is this growth to value shift over the past few days that we've seen. But I mean, holy cow. Let's start with Roku here. I mean,
Roku. Triple D did cover that short yesterday at the area
Good.
he wanted to. How do you know that the way the Apple news was going to affect Roku?
oh, this was pretty. I said it yesterday.
You did?
Yes, I did. I said it yesterday. I said Apple TV and Roku are direct competitors. They're literally the same thing. So.
Okay, well, maybe you should have been more convincing too.
All right, apparently so.
All right. Roku, a 2-day move. Let's see what happens today for you Roku traders. You're a nice $6 off that low from yesterday, 139.53. So I think back and fill here as you go back towards that level. I think you will find buyers. For resistance, let's see here. I'll just give you some real short-term resistance here. 147.39 is your high to the last bracket. We're $1.50 off that. If we really get going in rally mode, and this will be a great number, from the all-time high 176.55 down to 39.53, 49.59, 69, 37. So let's call it 18, give or take. Add 18 to that, 158 if it really gets going today. I look at that as a potential resistance point. And what do you know? 158.80 was the high from yesterday. So if it really gets going, there's a target for Roku. Netflix, now, I mean, I don't know who's defending the stock here, but man, oh man, it's either putting in a hard bottom here and is going to turn up, or we're in for another major leg down. You hit 82.79 on September 5th. And yesterday when they whacked it, they took it to 82.66. So cleared out a few stops there and closed at 87.99. So there you go. I mean, you got a level to lean on. Maybe it would take a close between, below 280 just to make people, but really great number here. I haven't seen that close to a double bottom in Netflix. 82.79 and 82.66. Those are big levels moving forward here for Netflix.
I would not try to be hero here with either of these names, especially with what we've seen the past few days in this shift away from growth tech to value names. Someone mentioned in the chat, value tech wasn't bad yesterday. With Roku, you just lost three weeks of gains in a matter of 2 days. Netflix is funny because you can look at the daily here and see. So someone's been trying to defend this all the way down, right? You see 3 green candles in a row in the 24th of July, 25th, 26th, and it's been leaking through it. But someone's been trying to defend it all the way down here. Someone or
really
some people.
Up here.
Some people.
Yeah, some people. I mean, also it's shorts too. Shorts get nervous. I mean, both longs and shorts are nervous here. Because if you're long, you're thinking, oh man, if this loses 282.5, what's going to happen? And if you're short, you're thinking, okay, we can't bust this thing. I don't know. I guess this moves okay. It hasn't really been moving with the market, but yeah, it's being defended here. And I don't know if there's much institutional ownership or buying here, but you got a good setup to lean on a long, and then also a potential short if you're quick enough to swing it around and reverse your position.
I would be so nervous here owning Netflix. I would be so nervous because now, for the first time, they're actually getting real competition from the big guns, right? Disney, Apple, and for so long, Netflix was priced to perfection. And I would be so nervous here. I would not, for a day trade, sure, but I would not initiate a new long-term investment in Netflix right now. You need to wait 6 months, a year, see how the dust settles with these new services, and then reassess. But I would be very nervous here. And Roku, what can you say about it? There's nothing to say about this ridiculous move. So
yeah, and it just got caught up in the whole PE high valuation trade and whatnot. It's tough. I mean, it's hard to really stay short with this thing. the way it's been acting. But up a buck 42 here. Let's see 2-day move. Let's see if it can hold that low 139.53. If you're banking on a rebound, and then I could figure out the exact 50% a little bit later. But I really think that comes in at 158, 159 level.
All right, let's move on to a couple of the earnings reports we got yesterday. The biggest loser on my movers filter this morning is Zscaler, ZS. They reported after the close yesterday. As I pull up that chart, the Q4 EPS from Zscaler 7 cents beat the 1 cent estimate. Sales 86 versus $82 million, but their Q1 EPS was light. The estimate was at 2 cents. What they guided was at 0 to 1 cent. Sales guidance was okay. The full year EPS guidance was light, and their full year sales guidance was fine. So light EPS guidance, inline sales guidance, and an okay quarter for Zscaler.
Boy, oh boy. Once again, here's one where the long-term leap puts would have worked better than trying to time this thing. But every dog has its day, and this is a down day for Zscaler. We're going to have Sean on Friday, and I'm sure he's going to be crowing about this one. Big sell-off here today. Can't tell you if you're long. I don't know what to tell you on this one. I'll just give you a pre-market low at 48.30. The only problem is you really haven't distanced yourself from that area at 49.59. So there's maybe some big institutions just selling all they can, but keep an eye on the pre-market low. Maybe it'd be one of those, if you really feel like you have to buy this today, if it dips through that pre-market low 48.30 and then comes back up through it. On the monthlies here, boy, what do I got on the monthlies, man? You are in no man's land here. 46.51. If you're looking for more on the downside here, 46.51 was your February low.
GameStop here. Let's go to GameStop as I pull that chart up and Joel adjusts the blinds. So if you chase Michael Burry, I am sorry about that, but this is why you don't chase. So GameStop Q2 EPS, they lost 32 cents per share last quarter. They were supposed to only lose 21 cents per share. Sales 1.29 versus $1.34 billion. So they missed on both Q2 numbers. The full year EPS guidance, what would you expect? It is light. This is a dog. The only reason this is even on our radar is because Michael Burry defended it. And I'm sorry if you chased him.
And Michael Pachter.
And Pachter defended it too. Two Michaels defended this thing.
Yep. And Triple D he played it before the earnings. And yes, he just said he thought $5 was a nice target. So he got out of that. Be an interesting day for it. I mean, they took it all the way down to $4. Is that the low here? $3.96. So you're 30 cents above that. $4 was a low. 407, 385. I'd say really important for it to come down to 4 and hold 4 today. If this, then the buy the dip mentality in this pig will be in full force. In order to get to the bottom of yesterday's range, you don't have that far to go here. 451 was the low from yesterday. So if you're looking for a little scalp, people may be looking to get out at the low from yesterday. That's a gap fill. So 4 to 450 here if you like to trade low price stocks. GameStop here, big loser.
Pachter out this morning, maintaining his outperform, lowering his price target to $8. Benchmark Securities is maintaining their sell, lowering their price target to $3. So whatever side you're on, the bull or the bear, there are analysts for each of you this morning. It must be a hit earnings, a bad earnings kind of day, because we talked about Zscaler down, GameStop down. Play is also getting cracked here. Dave and Buster's had their report after the close yesterday. I'll give you those numbers here. Q2 EPS 90 cents versus an 84-cent estimate. Sales of $344.5 versus $344.29 million. So they beat on the sales estimate. They beat on the EPS estimate. Good quarter, but they cut their full year sales guidance. They only cut it by a little bit, but a cut is a cut. And they cut it, let's see here, by about nothing crazy. $1.36 billion was the original low end of their range. Now it's $1.34 billion. And they see comps for the year down 2 to 3.5%. We hate to see comps down on a year-over-year basis. So lowered comps, lowered sales guidance for the year. That's your story this morning in Dave and Buster's.
The adult Chuck E. Cheese.
You say that every time.
I say that every time here. And let's just take a look at it. I mean, I don't even know if I've been in one of those places, but I think if I did, I think I'd maybe last 10 minutes in there. Straight down, and you found a buyer here. 36.32 is your pre-market low. Not really distancing itself from that level. You did have a double bottom in the 37 handle back in the middle of August. So you're kind of getting a reset here. I don't know, maybe shorts coming in. Right now, shorts are coming in to cover here. I keep an eye on the pre-market low. Below that, and you're going to be back at 36.05 was a monthly low from 2016. So there's a couple areas to keep an eye on here in Dave and Buster's.
I will maintain that that is a fun place to spend an afternoon. You have not been to
the
one?
whole afternoon?
Couple hours.
How much money do you spend?
Couple hours. I don't know, $30.
And like to play. I know Luke likes it. Luke loves that place.
Yeah,
right?
you play shoot some hoops, whatever. Play some air hockey. Fun way to spend.
Well, okay.
Couple hours. I'm with you on the noise and the kids and the lights and the sounds and the smell. Yes, it's a lot. It's sensory overload. But for a couple hours on a rainy Sunday afternoon, Dave and Buster's is a good place to spend.
There's always a lot of cars out there. The one on off 275.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Yep.
All right. What about RH?
And then you get all those tickets, and then you don't get anything.
Well, see, that's how they get you. You have to know. Yeah, you have to redeem what you get because you know you're never going back there. So you get your little card. You got your balance. You got to spend what you have because we know you're not going back. I mean, no one plans to go back. It's a spontaneous thing. I feel like I wouldn't. I'm sure I have 4 cards with balances somewhere on them.
Man.
Let's talk about Restoration Hardware here. RH, their earnings report. We talked about this yesterday morning. We're out after the close, $3.20 versus a $2.70 estimate for their Q2 EPS. So a nice beat there. Sales also beat $706 million versus $697 million. They raised their full year adjusted EPS guidance by a lot. They raised, so the original range of their guidance for the full year EPS was $9.08 to $9.52. Now it is $10.53 to $10.76. So they raised their full year guidance by $1.50. They raised their sales guidance as well, but not by as much. And as I pull up the RH chart here, you see it hold up relatively well compared to those other earnings.
I'll tell you right now, you know how we talked about straddle buyers, and if anyone doesn't understand a straddle, it's buying a call and a put at the same strike, looking for a big move. You had no chance if you bought the 160 straddle here. Let's just call it $15. So if you bought it when it closed at let's call it 159, 169, you needed 174 on the upside. Never got close to that. Your pre-market high or after hours high, excuse me, comes in at 169.95, and then you had a quick drop to 150 and change. And I think that looks like the low from yesterday was the 2-day low was 150.51. So there's your area. I'd try and stay in the bullish camp until it took out 150.51. After that, you have a $5 drop to 145. And let's see, if you're looking to sell the all-time high today, you may get that opportunity. 162.10 was the all-time high. So 150, 162.10, a couple parameters if you're looking to trade RH, but definitely not a the straddle buyers are hurting on this one.
Do you shop at Restoration Hardware? Have you ever bought anything from there?
You know our famous comment. They have a couch that you could buy at a garage sale for like $4,000, right?
Right.
Yeah. But Raz loves.
But it's a nice couch. It's a nice couch though.
Raz loves the place.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because he owns the stock and the stock is going up,
maybe.
But they have that subscription model, right?
They do, yep.
And and so does Costco. So, and they're in malls. Their rent should be going down because malls are going away, but it seems to be, it's holding up. It's not getting crushed. So if you held it through earnings and you saw that spike up to 165 in change, or no, it was higher than that, almost 170. If you're really looking for a big target on this, maybe there's a seller at 170, pre-market high 169.95.
I want to talk about fast food a little bit because Wendy's and McDonald's both moved yesterday. Wendy's, Monday after the close, they had lowered their EPS guidance, or they had really narrowed the range. In August, they gave an EPS growth range of 3.5% to 7%, and then Monday they came out and said more like 3.5% to 6.5%. So they really narrowed their EPS growth range. They also said they're relaunching breakfast. I didn't realize that was such a big thing, but it is. And those two factors combined, Wendy's did not have a good day yesterday.
No, bad day for it. Big gap in that stock. We did bounce off the low. The low from yesterday will be what I'll be keeping an eye on. 1909. You closed above that at 1971. So resistance, I'm going to call that close. Anybody wants to get out at the mark. And then nothing exactly at 19. You had some lows a little bit above that, 1935, 1945. So on 19 to 1971 early range, you lose 19. 1866 was your next daily low. That was your August 7th low. And boy, oh boy, poor Mickey D's, man.
Yeah.
Holy.
So this is what I understand. So Wendy's is relaunching breakfast. It's apparently the fourth time they've tried to roll out a breakfast menu. The third time, the past 3 times, they failed every time. So they're trying to do breakfast again, and that's enough to hit McDonald's. I don't understand that.
I think it's also not only where they're hitting high PE stocks, but they're just hitting stocks that had big runs.
Okay.
Yeah, Mickey D falls into that category. Punished off the Wendy's earnings and the Wendy's guidance. Once again, keep an eye out for the low of yesterday, 208.28. You closed above that. Now you're trading up $1. So shorts might be thinking, hey, did I miss the bottom there in this little, in this decline? Very big move for it. So I'll keep an eye on that. If you do lose that low from yesterday, 208.28, man, I don't see nothing. Let's call 206 and change. 206.19, 206.32. Pair of lows from the end of June, first day of July. So if you lose that 208 area, that's what I'm looking for. On the upside, and to mount a rally, let's see, you went to 222, down to 208, 14-point move, 215 would be halfway back. And I don't know how long ago it was, but Dennis told us we haven't talked about the book a lot lately. But someone was selling 9,000 shares at like 213 and a half, 214, 214. Every 50 cents, there was 9,000 shares. Now that's a smart trader. That's a smart person exiting it because they don't know where the top is and they have a target and they're just, and if you have a big position like that and you sell more size, the higher it goes, then your best average position. But hopefully he'll be back tomorrow and he'll remember where that was. But I remember big institutions, selling, 9,000 at 214, looks horrible when it goes to 221.93, but try selling, 250,000 shares yesterday, right? That in a down slope like that, surely not something you want to do. Trading up $1 here. 210.68 for Mickey D's, right near the highs of the pre-market session.
Joel, I know that you are a McDonald's breakfast fiend. You are.
No, I'm not.
We were talking about this earlier. Tell the good people, what is your record for, was it Egg McMuffins?
Yes.
Okay, what is your record for Egg McMuffins in one sitting?
We'll let the chat guess. We'll let the chat guess.
More than one, I would say anything more than one is a disturbing amount. But I've only read one at a time. There's about a 15-second delay in the broadcast, so they're probably just hearing this.
They're just trying to think of what it is.
Oh, they're trying to decide what is.
Oh, Rob Hood's close. It's 4. It was 4, and I remember.
Disgusting.
Look at our chat. 6, 5, 4.
All right, 10. That's a little bit excessive.
Who said 10?
By Apple. That's 12. 12 in
Four.
the YouTube chat. This is a little excessive.
12. Roger Mills. No. And, Rob Hood, he came in with the first guest at 5, and he's the best because Rob Hood's a swimmer too. And Rob Hood, I did that after I swam. I did it twice. I swam 10,000 meters one day. And after that workout by noon, I had that. And then also I was doing some traveling with my daughter for a sports event, and the food was terrible at the event. I got to the airport, I ate 4 Egg McMuffins. That's a lot.
That is excessive. Anything more than one. We had PPI out just now, not really moving the market too much. Came in 2.3% versus 2.2% estimate. Nothing crazy from PPI. That's our only number of the day, I believe. All right. What else?
It's not moving it.
No.
I mean, the bonds, can you pull up the bond chart there, or can you just go TLT?
I can go TLT.
Yeah, go TLT here instead of the bonds. I mean, there's your reason for your rally and your financials. You came off the high there. We got the Fed meeting next week. I just don't know if, what happens? I'm just throwing this out there. What happens if they don't lower rates? Is like Jerome Powell going to get fired, or?
And I've been seeing more and more headlines of people trying to convince everyone else that lower rates and even negative rates aren't a bad thing. It's like we're trying to convince ourselves. So I don't know. At this point, I haven't checked the Fed funds futures or the
percentage.
I
think it's pretty
CME Fed Watch tool. What does that say? The odds of a rate cut are
pretty high.
As I pull it up right now, almost 89% chance of a rate cut next week. So the remaining 11% says no cut. So market pricing in the cut. We'll see what happens.
They treat the financials. I mean, I don't know. I guess the cut versus the value trade. The value trade over.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but we didn't get a chance to. Uber and Lyft. So there is a bill that has passed the California House. It is going now to the Senate and then to the governor's desk that would make Uber and Lyft reclassify their drivers as full-time employees. I've seen some estimates saying this could increase costs by as much as 30%. Both companies have had lobbied against this bill. They obviously have failed. And so it's looking like it's going through now and will be signed into law. Not great for the business model, whatever the hell that even is for these companies. They're inventing their own business model. But Uber and Lyft here, I wanted to look at both because we've talked about them, sure, but man, have they really, really not held up.
They've just been killed. I mean, and if I was inclined to draw a trend line here on the Lyft chart, I would start with these peaks at 58, and I'd make a big old steep old trend line here coming down, and maybe it always looks different on different charts, but 45. That was the high from yesterday. So, it looks like it's trying, but man, that is just like, except for that one little bump to 68, this thing's been straight down since the IPO. 43, 41. We forgot to ask Nick about this one.
Yeah.
Was he in Lyft or Uber?
He was in Uber.
Yeah.
He was in Uber.
Yeah. He said he put in his son account. He forgot about it. We forgot to ask him. I don't know what to say about these stocks.
They're great company. I think they're great companies. I think their service is invaluable to society, but their businesses are still being proven out.
I'll just see the old time. If you feel like you have to go long to stock, 43.41. That's the low from yesterday. $1.50 away. Yeah, on Lyft here, $1.50 away. Just straight down here. No signs of life. Maybe if you hold that 43.41 again today, get a chance to lean on it for a double bottom. I'd have to say, more inclined to buy this at 46.10 than I would at 45.45. So that's what we're looking like.
Look at these IPOs. Look at Slack.
I was thinking of buying that too. That is it's gotten worked. What else can you say? Look at that thing. I like it though. We use Slack. 23.93, and buyers stepped up yesterday, 24.50. So you did make a higher low. So swing trade, where'd you close at? Oh, you closed way up at 26.75. So you did get a nice bounce there. So once again, leaning on that level. Uber, let's take a look at Uber. Boom, that has a double bottom to lean on. So maybe shorts are trying to bring something in under 31. Parallels 30.67, 30.85. Do you remember where the original pricing was on these stocks? Because I know I'm really throwing you under
Uber and Lyft.
Yeah.
I can find them real quickly. Let's see.
Yeah, because a lot of times they come back to those numbers.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to think of one of the most recent stocks. I remember keeping an eye on it. The original pricing.
45 was the price, the IPO pricing for Uber.
Okay, and it got but that got stuffed right away. Yeah, that you talk about resistance. Actually, it did get to 47.04. What about Lyft?
Lyft, I'm still pulling it up. Let me see.
Oh, Lyft was higher
in my pro.
wasn't it like 65?
Lyft was
85?
priced at 72.
Yeah, and it went up. All right, so they're both way below Wall Street expectations here. So
Yeah.
let's see. Let's see if
IPOs is a story of the haves and the have-nots. I mean, Pinterest has held up. Zoom, Beyond Meat, of course.
Oh, Zoom got cracked, right?
It did. It got cracked, but it's relatively to the IPO price. It still held up okay.
Yeah. Green bar yesterday. So there's a sign of 95 to 70, 76, 81. And how is pin interest? That's had a haircut too.
Yep.
Boy,
Same
boy.
story.
Yeah, look at that. Straight
Growth
down.
to value. Growth to
It
value.
did fill the gap though. If you want to reset before earnings, boom, you got it now. I always like gaps to be filled, and you did get a gap fill here. You need to get to 29.14. You did that and then some over the last two sessions, double bottom at the 27.5 area. If you want to lean on it for a swing trade, if you're shorting it, you just don't want to get caught in an upgrade or some kind of short squeeze.
All right, we've got about 7 minutes until I grab Jerremy Newsome. Let's go to some ratings in the meantime. Alcoa getting an upgrade this morning. AA from Credit Suisse to outperform. Price target set at $27.
Nice lift, 52 cents. You talk about the dogs barking. There it is, Alcoa. AA, I mean, ever since they got rid of Klaus Kleinfeld, I've been not as interested in the stock. Super rally here. I don't know if you're late to the party in this one, trading up 51 cents, trading up at the highs of the pre-market session, 21.40. What do we see on the dailies? On the dailies, we see a 21.33 high, and then it really opens up to 22.45. So look for this one, 21.50 open, 21.60, 21.70, above 22, or a good chance for a fade on this one because we traded down to 16.46, August 26th or August 28th. That wasn't too long ago. So I don't know, maybe a little late to the party here with this upgrade.
And then in that same space, Newmont Mining getting an upgrade at BMO to outperform this morning. Price target of 50.
And second upgrade in 3 days here.
Yes, good point.
RBC Capital upgraded it. Just keep an eye on your gold futures. I think I saw in the chat Citigroup calling for 2,000. I don't know. Very, very nice run here. I think on this upgrade though, up 36 cents. I think you're going to find some sellers here. I mean, you came down hard off 40.5 or what was the actual high of the move? 41.23 down to 37. That's like a 4+ move. Man, I think you get anywhere near 39.70, 39.80. I think you find resistance 40, a psychological level as well.
Glue Mobile. This is one I've almost bought like 10 times, and I'm glad I never actually pulled the trigger. But they're getting an upgrade this morning from Roth Capital to buy, from neutral to buy on GLUU.
This is getting a little bit interesting here. Got crushed off of earnings, up 28 cents. And I'm not even going to look at the pre-market high, but I'm just going to tell you, keep an eye on 546. Because once you take out 546, There is no identifiable resistance in the stock until that low from when you gap down, and that was at 744. So there you go. You just get into no man's land here. Nice round, a little bit of a rounding bobbin coming off the high of the move. To fill the gap from yesterday, you need to come down to 511. So call five even support, 545 resistance, early range here, trading near that 545 high.
Couple more upgrades. Micron upgrade at Longbow to buy. Gave it a $66 price target.
They love it or they hate it. Over the psychological $50 level, up 80 cents. Nice move at 50.19. What did we have here? After hours, someone decided to print this up at 50.60, and it's come back down, but comfortably holding $50. That was the high of yesterday's range right there, double top at 50. So you want to see that 50 support hold. You want to see it take out that pre-market high. And what do you got on the monthlies? Nothing on the monthlies until 52.30. I wonder if Dennis is still in this one or he got out of this one. I know he had it a couple times. If you're looking for 50% retracement, 65. Wow, to 29, 39, 49, 59, 36-point move, 18. You're above the 50% retracement here. So keep an eye on 52.30.
And then not a stock we typically cover on this show, but Callaway Golf, ELY, upgrade at Raymond James this morning to outperform.
Up 71 cents here. Whew. Big old move, clearing 19. I bet you this is light volume. 1,500, 1,300 shares here and there, mostly on upticks. High of the pre-market session right here. I'd say some people got caught from this move off 2010. You had 1883 close that day. So 1883, 19 potential resistance. Recent high of the move 2010. So if you're really a big believer in this one, that would be a target on the upside.
And then not much in the way of downgrades. ADP downgraded Bank of America to neutral. Costco downgraded to neutral or to perform at Oppenheimer. And that's kind of it. Nothing too interesting from the downgrade. I guess let's look at ADP. Is Ackerman still in that? Do we know? I think he's out.
I hope he got out the last couple of days. You know, he's up. Is it Ackman? It's up 47% for the year. Yeah,
I'd believe it.
Yeah.
He's got Chipotle, so I'd believe it.
Yeah. I mean, it's he's making up. And what did we get on ADP? A downgrade or upgrade?
Yeah, downgrade to neutral. Nothing crazy.
God, why couldn't you told me like 3 days ago? I don't know what to tell you about this one. Downgrade, close. I mean, use your closes. Potential resistance 163.50 is where you're trading. 164.33. That's your potential resistance. Support. I like this 162 area. You got the 61. That was on September 10th. I forgot to mention that was my sister's birthday yesterday. And 162.51. So there's your support. Two lows in the same area for ADP. And Spice says Ackman is out of ADP.
Yes, I thought I remembered reading that. Last one, Rockwell Automation. I believe this is John Inch at Gordon Haskett, downgrading it to a hold this morning. But not much in the way from downgrades today. Nothing really to underweight or to sell.
I mean, this is not bad. I mean, it's quite a bit off its all-time high, but it's quite a bit off its August low here.
Yeah.
So nice. I mean, it's better than getting the downgrade at 146. You know,
Yeah.
Here you're getting it at 164.
All right, it is 8:45. I'm going to take a quick break and grab Jerremy Newsome from Real Life Trading. We'll be right back in a moment here with Jerremy. Welcome back, everyone. Pre-market prep, Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, joined by Jerremy Newsome from reallifetrading.com. Jeremy, how's it going this morning?
Going good, man. How are you both?
Doing well. I saw you climbed a mountain.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
Yep, tell us about that.
Yeah, I appreciate the ad. That was fun. It was an event in Utah. There was a guy named Jesse Itzler. He's a social media, Instagram kind of specialist. He is part owner of the Atlanta Hawks. Anyway, so he rented out a mountain in Utah where you have to climb it 13 times, and that was like it's like the equivalent of climbing Everest. It's supposed to be like the physical equivalent without the the oxygen and all that stuff. So it's just like the amount of feet of climbing Everest. So yeah, that was pretty much it, man. It was a massively, incredibly difficult physical challenge, and that was something that I did back August 25th that weekend. So it was really fun.
Wait, I thought you were in Africa though. No?
It wasn't in Africa. No, it wasn't in Africa.
I don't know why I think you was in Africa. Did I make that up? I must have made that up. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, there was a part where after 9 ascents, that was the equivalent of climbing Kilimanjaro.
Oh, see, I knew I didn't make that up from some. Okay, I got that from somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
Did you ever want to quit, Jeremy? Did you ever say, you know what, I'm not gonna make it. Get me down off here. Did you ever have that fear that you weren't gonna make it?
That's a good question, man. Not in this particular event, I did not. There was times where I was annoyed because it was just so long. I mean, so I spent 30 hours straight climbing. So I didn't, there was no sleep or no rest. I mean, it was just 30 hours straight. So there was times where I was just annoyed because it just took so long. But I had trained really, really hard for it. So I knew I was going to finish. It was an unquestionable, like I was 100% confident I was going to finish. It was just annoying how long it took.
What was harder, this or your worst day of trading?
Oh man, like this for sure. Like the worst day of trading is like, I mean, like that's monetarily annoying, but it's one of those situations where you forget about it to some degree. Because my worst day, obviously, as most people, is like when you first start out. It's like after I had a general idea of what to do in the markets, like I haven't had a day that was just absolutely crippling and horrific. So that was usually when you first start out trading, that's when you have the really, really, really bad days, or like the account blow ups, but I haven't had one of those in a very long time, thankfully.
All right. And then did you do a half marathon too? Did I see?
Yeah, man, that was last week. That was 4 days ago.
He's putting us to shame here, Joel. We got to get back on the grind.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I work out a lot.
All right.
Yeah, Joel's a beast.
So let's talk about August. Man, oh man, it was some people really crushed it. A lot of volatility. How did August turn out for you?
So I made 7% in August, but it was a massively challenging month. Most of those, 90% of those gains came in the last 2 days for whatever reason. But it was one of those situations where, for me, just the way I trade, swing trading, which was like multiple day holds, was pretty rough. That's where I lost most of my money, was swing trading. Day trading was actually very good. And I had one person ask me like, well, hey, how come you just stop swing trading? I was like, well, you don't know
exactly
if it's going to be good or not until it's good or not. Like I'm in some swing trades, and then I think it was like August 1st or August 2nd, like whenever the tweet that a lot of people were mentioning when that came out, that I was up huge early in the day, and then I was down massive like at the end of the day. So it was one of those things where it just happens sometimes. Like you never can predict exactly what the market's going to do, so you just have to mitigate your risk and kind of hedge and do your thing and have a few different baskets of strategies. Like if I definitely can say for sure, if I only was day trading, I would have done amazing. If I was only swing trading, then yes, August would have absolutely been a losing month, unquestionably, for me at least.
Do you think? I mean, I know I don't want to say a perma bull because I know you played both sides of the market, but you weren't like making.
But you could say that. Yeah.
You weren't making calls, right? You were just going with what your indicators were telling you. Your indicators were telling you to be wrong. And when that happened, did you get stopped out? Did you have to take your losses? Did you move your stop?
Yeah.
How did you handle it? Did you handle it like a man?
Yeah.
Try and dance around it.
Yeah, I would classify myself as a probable. I mean, long term, that's just kind of my viewpoint. I just take the Warren Buffett approach from most investing standpoints. But I do day trade bearish. I absolutely will do some bearish swing trades. That was the big win for August for me for swing trading. One of the very few green lights in the trading was uber bearish and silver bullish. So those are like the only two that I was like, wow, that was an easy trade. The rest were just absolutely horrific. But yeah, I did a lot of stops, man. A lot of my stops got hit, and most of them got hit within a day or two. So I would get into the trade, thing would look good early, and then just absolutely wrecked. Like overnight, it would gap down, hit my stop or something. So like UTX, that was one that looked really good. United Technologies, I thought it would bounce. I was pretty confident it would bounce. I got in around like 132, and I got stopped out at 130. And the whole time I'm like, man, there's no reason for UTX to be selling off like this. And it did until I got stopped out. But, like I said, that happened. Same thing with like Facebook. Facebook has zero exposure from this whole China thing, like literally zero. They're not even in China at all. And why is Facebook going down? So the whole market was just kind of going down, doing its thing. But yeah, man, you get stopped out. Like it happens. It's not a big deal. You just have to be able to implement different approaches. And that's why I love day trading, Joel. That's why I love day trading. Because when I did get stopped out of a swing trade, I would zoom into a 5-minute chart and say, okay, obviously if it's selling, let me see if I can flip my position and see if I can go bearish.
All right. What about your thoughts on a trailing stop to lock in profits when you do have them? Do you do that, or do you just go for your hard target or get stopped out on the downside? There's a question from Spice.
Yep, that's a great question. I normally manually trail my stops over a certain period of time per day because I find that is a more of a robotic approach that you could actually program into a computer. And when I'm trading, my goal is to try to be like a robot, right? I don't really necessarily want to have emotions. I want to look at the trade and go, okay, it's been 8 days. So usually, to answer your question, 8 trading days is how long it takes me before I will trail a stop. So I have a hard stop in place, and then after 8 days, I'll move it a little bit, just depending on where it looks like I should put it on the chart. So every 8 days is when I will go in and kind of make some updates.
Why
if
8?
Something crazy happens between now and then, I just won't do anything.
Why 8? Why 8 days?
It really is just a few different reasons. It's a fib number. Not that specifically matters, but it is a number in the Fibonacci sequence. Number 2 is it's a little bit of a longer period of time than I want to hold for. Right? Most swing traders want to get in and get out within like 2 days. So if you're gonna make money trading, like actually some solid amount of money, you're gonna have to hold positions long, right? You've got to be in something at least a decent period of time.
Sure.
So 8 days kind of is also a little bit of not an experiment, but just over time, like I've kind of noticed, I've gone back and done some research. That's a good amount of time for me to be in a trade. If I have a good winner, it's usually in and out before 8 days. So Schlumberger, that was my most recent big win. And I got lucky on this one for sure, but I got filled at open on September 3rd. And that was down at 31.18. So I had like a limit buy at, I think, 31.60, and it opened at 31.18. So I got filled, 20 cents lower, 40 cents lower. And then it just ran. And I got out yesterday, and that was a 3% 3R trade per my risk. That was a beautiful trade, but again, that took about 6 trading days, relatively speaking. And so that's the thing for me is I've just gone back and done a lot of research over a lot of the swing trades that I've looked at and
Time period.
held.
All right, I'm not going to do a hot potato with you, but I'm going to give you a trivia question, and this is music, and you probably are going to get this one.
All right, we'll see.
Who sings 8 days a week?
I have no idea.
That song was on the. I heard that song yesterday. Maybe it was a commercial. I don't know where, but it was a. I happen to have heard.
8 days a week. I never even heard of that song.
Oh,
Wow.
you're kidding.
That's a shame.
What about the chat? Is the chat? I'm sure the chat's going to get this one. It's the Beatles. You should listen to it.
The beat. Okay. So here's something that you guys can make fun of me for openly. I'm not a Beatles fan. I'm a Beach Boys fan.
Oh.
So you have to choose one of them, right? Like you have to pick one usually.
I didn't know music was a zero-sum game. Yeah, well, I'm not a Beach Boys fan, so.
How is September, real quick? How's September treating you?
September's going good so far, man. I mean, I started down a little bit, like in the very first 2-3 days, but Schlumberger put me back in the green. So, right, you just need one good trade. For me, the way I trade, I really mitigate risk well. I called the top perfectly on in-phase energy, and I don't know why that company was so bullish, but man, like you guys remember the whole the Tesla thing, right? When I was really bullish on Tesla, how much hate I got on that.
Yeah.
But I got more hate on in-phase energy at like 34. And I was like, do not buy it up here. I posted it. I made a lot of social media posts. I was like, do not buy in-phase energy at 34. And now it's at 23. But at 34, there were so many people. They're like, it's going to 90.
What's
like, dude.
ENP? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, EMPH in phase. So it went up like 400% or something this year, maybe even more than that. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, just do not be bullish up here. Don't buy shares. If anything, buy puts. And so that was a nice win. So, man, honestly, September is going to be fine. September, I feel like, is a normal month. So far, at least.
Yeah, so far.
Pretty average. And I don't know, man. I like it. Looks like a slow, soft grind higher in the markets to me.
Yeah. I mean, you got the quad witch next week, too. So there's going to be some real good movements off that. So where you short in Zscaler today?
Woo! Zscaler, man. ZS down 21%.
There's a gap. What are you doing?
Yeah, there's definitely a gap. I agree. I'm not going to be long on it. I will wait. I probably won't trade it all day, man, honestly. Usually when something's over 21%, because it's going to be hard to short, right? You're going to have the short sell restriction on. Like, how low is it going to go? I mean, they make money.
I have no idea. It's just slowing.
So,
all right, I got it.
Yeah, it's just going to slowly die.
Okay. What about Square here? What about?
So, I can give you my exact thoughts on Square. Square, I'm not going to day trade it today, but if we close below the low of Monday, I'm buying a lot of something that rhymes with put options. It's Monday, very nice lower shadow on the candle. You had an inside day candle yesterday. You're sitting on top of a very strong pivot. If we close below Monday's low at any point in the next 2 to 3 weeks on Square, put options are the way to go for me.
Is Ashley upset over this one?
No, she's in this long term. She actually added more 3 days ago. So she's just slowly taking little stabs at it and just getting in longer term. Yeah.
What about any other gaps? We got another minute or so here. I mean, there's a pretty. What about Dave and Buster? Do they have them down there in Nashville? Dave and Buster?
They are, man. Yeah, PLAY gapping down again. I'm really interested on this gap down on Dave and Buster's because it looks like just absolute death. So, they gapped down, recently in June. They're gapping down again on earnings. I'm trying to figure out what the heck they're doing wrong, but I'll probably be looking at keeping that on the watch list for maybe a bearish play, most likely. But Dave & Buster's definitely an interesting gap. Apple, I'll be looking at buying a dip on because that iPhone 11 for $699 is a steal. Apple will be at $300 between now and this time next year. Like, that is insanity, dude.
Is it a smaller phone?
No, it's bigger. They have it's better, bigger, gorgeous, more cameras, more everything, and it's like $400 cheaper than the last one. Like, I can't figure it out.
It doesn't have as much bells and whistles as the other models they debuted yesterday. It is the cheapest of the newer models, but you can get one for the $1,100 or $600.
And Jeremy,
yeah.
One last thing, I'm going to let you go here. I know you can get ready for that open. have you heard from any of your people from Real Vision? Remember when you did that video on Tesla and you got a lot of hate on that? You were responding. I said, don't respond. The market will say whether you're right or wrong. Have you responded to any of those people yet, or you just?
I responded to every single one of them. I told them I was right and that they should eat a giant bag of, candy. And
right.
And I told them I was right. I've also told them that I exited that position for a massive profit and all is good. And I'm back in some more for November on Tesla put sales. But I did reach out to the Real Vision team. I was like, you guys should bring me back on for another call of some kind. But
they won't.
We'll see if they ever say yes.
All right. Jerremy Newsome, his site is reallifetrading.com. Jerremy, thank you as always for the time, and have a great rest of your day.
My pleasure, guys. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Jeremy. Just real quick, price line.
Real quick.
Yeah, the stock formerly known as price line.
BKNG. I always forget that.
I don't know what's going on. New all-time high, up 24 cents. Caught a bid yesterday, trading above yesterday's high. I don't know. It's not an all-time high. Nope, there's still room to go here. Just go to your dailies here. I hate. Let's see here on your monthly charts. I mean, if you've been waiting to sell this in 2019 since November, here's your shot. After that, no daily resistance on 2109, but I don't think it's going there today. But great job today, Spencer. We hardly missed Triple D here. We actually
we missed Triple D.
We actually got to talk. Isn't it kind of nice?
Yeah, we missed Triple D. I hope he's back with us tomorrow. But if you missed any part of our show, you want to listen to this show again, our older shows, catch our podcast, or go on YouTube and rewatch our show with our pretty mugs on that. Thanks to Jerremy Newsome, as I mentioned. Thanks to everyone in our chat. Please remember all the information from our show meant to be used as informational purposes only, not for investing or trading advice. That's it for us. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you on Thursday.